Have you ever had a moment when it feels like everything in the universe is aligning just for you? You know, a moment so perfectly coincidental, and it just leaves you feeling amazed and speechless, and actually gives you goosebumps. You know, fancy seeing you here, you'll say, or do you know, what are the odds of that happening, or what are the chances of that, or how on earth can you explain what just happened there? Imagine finding yourself at the centre of time, caught in the universe's web of divine synchronicity. But surely it's just all coincidence, isn't it? Right? You're right, my name is Daz and welcome to Stories for the Subconscious, where I help people to reprogram their subconscious mind so that they can basically reprogram their life for the better. Today we're going to be unpacking the mystical and magicalness of synchronicity. Yeah, we'll discuss what it is, and I'll also give you some examples of synchronicities that had happened to me in my life, and still do. And I'll also cover the dark side of synchronicity that no one is talking about, but I'm gonna. Plus stick around until the end, because I'll be revealing some top tips on how to experience more synchronicities in your own life. So stick around for that, because you ain't gonna want to miss that, are you? Anyway, let's crack on with the video, shall we? Have you ever experienced an event so perfectly timed or meaningful that it just felt like, it felt like there was more than just a chance? Well, this phenomenon is called synchronicity, and it was first coined by psychologist Carl Jung. And synchronicity refers to meaningful coincidences and events that are not causally related, but seem to be deeply connected on sort of a symbolic or personal level. So, unlike random coincidences, synchronicities carry a sense of purpose or alignment, which sort of makes them feel so profound and uncanny. But why isn't synchronicity just another coincidence? The difference lies in perception and meaning. So, while coincidences are purely random, synchronicities resonate with us properly emotionally or spiritually, and often providing guidance or insight. Some researchers even suggest that these moments are linked to the subconscious mind, like intuition or even quantum principles, where everything is sort of interwoven and connected and interrelated. So let's explore some examples of synchronicity, which include some real stories that have happened in my own life. So this part's about dreams and real life colliding. Say you imagine you dream of a long lost friend, someone you haven't seen in a long time, and then you're walking down the street and by chance, you bump into them. This person you've not seen in years. Or you might receive a call or a text message from them the next day, even though they've not texted you in a long time. The timing feels too perfect, doesn't it, to ignore. Or, thinking about a person or you hadn't seen from or heard from in years, and they call or text you. I want to call this other part the thing that finds you. So, imagine if you're struggling with a personal problem, and while browsing in a bookstore or library, and a random book just falls off the shelf. And you pick it up and discover it's speaking directly to you about the issue you're facing. Or you could go on YouTube and find a video that gives you the answers you were looking for. But here's the eerie part, you never typed it in the search bar. I've had a few subscribers over the last couple of videos what have said to me that they've found my video just by chance. They was thinking about a certain subject, and then all of a sudden they saw my video and it covered it for them, but they wasn't typing it in the search bar. So that is amazing synchronistic behaviour, isn't it? If you think about it. Another one is repeating numbers. Many people report seeing repeated numbers like 1111, 222, 4444, and often during pivotal moments in their lives. And these sequences are believed to carry specific meanings and messages from the universe, your spirit guides or angels, whatever you believe in. Not long ago, I think it was when did we go? It was at the end of September. Me and my daughter took me and daughter to Turkey, and I can't remember what I was thinking about. I was thinking about something to do with YouTube content creating, and I was feeling very excited about it. And then as we was driving, I just randomly saw the time flashing, but it said 17:17, so it wasn't even the right time. and it was just flashing away 17, 17. And then I had a look what the meaning behind 17 was, and it was saying that I was on the right path and aligning with my true purpose in life, which is content creating and delivering stories, stuff like that. So it gave me sort of a magical feeling inside. Another time, I put a load of clothes in the washing machine, loaded it up, turn it on, let it do its cycle. Halfway through, it stops. Well, it might have been a quarter way or 3/4 way, I don't know, I wasn't really paying attention to it, but it just stops and started going, dinner, 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 making a noise like this, some sort, I don't know what was wrong with it. So I go to see what was wrong with it, and the clock on the washing machine said exactly 111. Now, what was weird about that is, one, the washing machine has never stopped like that. It wasn't overloaded in the drum or anything like that. But what really freaked me out is the time what I put the washing machine on for wasn't nowhere near 1 hour and 11 minutes. It was more like 40 odd minutes. So, do you know, that is mental why it showed me that time. So I was meant to see 111 that day. And I've also seen these times on the air fryer, on the oven, stuff like that. It's absolutely crazy. So when you do get these messages, when these synchronicities, check out what they mean. Google what they mean and see, do you know what it's trying to tell you? Because it could be a message, it could be the path what you're going on in life, could be anything. I've even seen this on the time of a football match. I'll be watching the match, and then all of a sudden, could be God knows how long into the match, I'll just look in the top left corner, and it'll be exactly like 4-4-4-4 the time, or 2-2-2-2. It's absolutely crazy. But once you're open to this field of all possibilities and connecting with the divine, you'll find that you'll get more coincidences, and, well, I'd say coincidences, but synchronicities, that's the more word we're looking for, aren't we? Because these aren't coincidences. You mark my words, these are not coincidences. These are messages what are meant to be delivered through to you. But when you're on a sort of closed perception and you're not awake to all these things, they'll go unnoticed. Do you know, quite often I've woke up through the night and just woke up like it's like a bolt of sage, something surging go through me, and I check the time and it's 4:44 or 5:55. But what's weird is when I check this time, when I wake up and I check my time on phone, it also feels like I'm not alone in the room, like there's another presence there when it's dark. I don't know if you've experienced anything like this. Let me know in the comments if you have, peeps. I love hearing stories like this, and let's build this amazing community. But I think the most bizarre one, what's happened to me in terms of seeing mirroring numbers or repetition of numbers, was like I was on my phone, and it was in my pocket, and I always listen to podcasts or YouTube videos or anything like that as I'm walking the dogs. So I had my earphones in, and I sort of went in a bit of a daydream, and I was dreaming about, this was before I was even doing my content, and I was walking, thinking about my content, getting excited about it, that I want to help others out, and this is really what I want to do in my path in life. And then I sort of went in a daydream, and then I sort of missed what the important part of the video was. So I took my phone out, pressed pause, and tried to go back. And you know how awkward that YouTube buddy rewind skip button is on your phone, especially if no one's timestamped it. So, do you know, I tried to get back to this point. So I click at a certain part. You remember when you used to be able to click the YouTube bar at a certain point and go to that point? And literally, I did it on bang on 11:11 as I was thinking about my dream future and what I want to do and my full-time purpose. So how bizarre is that? That is the one what really made me goosey inside. Oh God, that was like a pure message from the divine. So another one we're going to look at is perfect timing synchronicity. Imagine you're running late for a flight and only to be find out that it's been delayed, and it gives you just enough time to make the flight. This alignment can feel like the universe is working in your favour. So I want to tell you another one as well about timing, but at the time I was really distraught about it because I really wanted this job. But I was applying for a new job, a manager's job at my old workplace, well, one of my old workplaces. And I was driving there, and as I was driving under this subway, going to turn the corner to drive under this subway, there's never any traffic build up there, ever. I've drove down there for years and years and years and never seen this build up of traffic. But all of a sudden, I go down there, bear in mind I've got just enough time to get to the office for my interview. I go down there, and there's roadworks literally spilling all down the subway and all down, not roadworks, sorry, a traffic jam, all down the subway and all down to the right. right? Literally. So I can't go down there. Nothing's happening. I don't know what's going on down there. Can't get down there. So I had to drive all the way around this other long way and then get to the office, and I was already a few minutes late. So I'm there perspirating, sweating, everything what I've learned is sort of gone out my head a bit, practicing for the interview, and I'm sort of a bit like a nervous wreck now because that traffic and everything and having to try and rush to get there has put me off. And as I go in the interview, it's an absolute shit show. I fuck it completely up. I really do. And I was distraught. And this other lad I know got the job, and I was like, oh God, I really wanted that, obviously, because it was more money. But then I used to think to myself, did I really want all that stress and responsibility? And then I saw him in the job, he got the job, and because I was good friends with him, I used to speak to him all the time and stuff like that. He was stressful, he hated it, he was miserable, and he said it's not worth that few extra grand a year. So, was that a synchronicity from the universe, what was actually helping me from getting in something that would make me miserable? I really do believe things like that happen. Synchronistic ways happen like that from the divine to guide you on the right path. And that was me steering into a path what would absolutely ruin me and make me miserable. So, by putting things like the traffic jam and that in the way, it stopped me from getting the job because it completely threw me out. There's also been times when, I think it's about 2-3 weeks ago, where I was quite hard up. I never had no money. I'd spent quite a lot of money taking my daughter on a holiday, so I was just recovering. I was like, do you know what I could really do with a little bit of money? Just something to get me by over the weekend and stuff like that. And then I go outside, notice something under my car wheel, £20 note. At first I thought it was fake. I thought, oh no, this is just a fake one, some plain trip. I checked everything on Google and that. It was actually a proper £20 note. So thank you, universe, thank you. I can remember when I was young as well, and I feel a bit embarrassed about telling this story, but I was having a dream. Well, I don't know if it was a dream or not, but it felt so real when I was young. I was about 13 years old, and I had a dream that all these gnomes was what came out of like near my drawers, me underwear and stuff like that, and they looked like they came from out there, and they just started climbing all over me. And then, but I didn't feel like I woke up. I just like, and then I snapped out of it, and I told my mates about it and stuff like that, and they absolutely ripped the piss out of me. Oh, Daz believes in gnomes now, little fairy gnomes what have come out of nowhere, and all ripped the piss. And we was all playing football, and I was just like, oh, do you know, messing about, I was just like, oh, if these gnomes are true, we'll all come into some money today. And they all started laughing and stuff like that. Then as we was playing football, I was in goal, and the ball got booted, and it went off the field into these parked cars and sort of jammed underneath the parked car. And then as I got to get the ball, I was virtually near sort of on the floor trying to scurry this ball out. It was in the middle. I looked, and I found 90 odd pound in a bag underneath that wheel. Now, it probably was left there for someone as a payment, maybe for drugs or whatever, but it was just weird how I asked for some money from the gnomes and it was provided straight away there. So I got the money and shared it between all the boys. I was like, now who's laughing? And you know what, they was all a bit thrown off. I'm like, oh my God, are these gnomes actually real? And then I started to think, maybe it wasn't a dream, maybe it was real, maybe the gnomes are real. Not all synchronicity is great, and no one talks about this, but I call this a thing. I call it tempting fate synchronicity. And Leah, let me mention a few things. So, tempting fate synchronicity. Here's one for you. Have you ever rang up at workplace pretending to be ill because you just cannot be bothered to go in? I don't know, you might have had a few drinks the night before, or you just can't be bothered in general because you know you've got a shit ton of work to do when you get there, and it's one of the tricky jobs, or whatever you're doing, you just can't be bothered. So you ring it, you're putting your little poorly voice on, pretending to be ill. You've always got that little pop, oh, I can't come in today, I'm sick. Like, who speaks like that when they're poorly and ill? So I do that, and then all of a sudden, as the day's going on, you actually turn ill. So it's the universe's way of looking, don't tempt fate. You're asking to be ill, you're pretending to be ill, you're envisioning that I am of being ill. There you go, hey presto, you're going to be ill, and you end up ill for a few days, like, oh. And then you're like that, oh, for fuck's sake. Or another one where you go, oh, you go into a pub and you're like, bear in mind, you might have not seen these people for a long time, but you're like, oh, I really hope they're not going to be there. I really can't be bothered with them. They do my head in. Then all of a sudden you get to the pub, and lo and behold, I've had it done to me before, lo and behold, they're both there. Both the people you don't fucking want to see are both there. You're like, Daz? You're alright. And that's tempting fate, isn't it? Because you've been thinking about it, like you really don't want them to be there. You're literally manifesting them to be there. But two of the ones what I'll tell you about, and they both play on my mind, right? They do all the time. And one not that long ago, actually. One, I was subscribed to this. It was a subscription, what was meant to be helping me out through, learning various stuff and that lot. But I found out that it was a blatant scam, a blatant rip-off. So I emailed them and said, look, I don't want to be in this subscription no more. I can't afford it. I've lost my job. And they was like, oh, fair enough, we'll take you off it. Because I heard that it's quite hard to get out of this subscription. But I laid it down like that and got out of it. A couple of hours later, I got a Teams video call off my boss telling me that they're going to let me go. So that is tempting fate. That is tempting fate, synchronicity at its finest. But the one what sticks in my head the most, and it's quite sad really, but I'll never forget it. And you know what? I'll never do anything like this, and neither should any of you. Just to be on the safe side. I wouldn't have done it anyway, personally, because I don't really agree with that, but she did what she had to do, so fair enough. So back when I was younger, when I was like 19, early 20s and stuff like that, I was into drinking a lot the weekend and taking ecstasy all the time. And a gang of us went out, we all had a good time drinking, took some recreational drugs, and one of the lasses, it got to the morning, she was still high as a kite and just thought, I really can't go into work. So she rang work, beep, 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 beep. I can't come in today, my nana's passed away. Oh, we're ever so sorry. I'm not going to name the person in case she sees this video, but we're ever so sorry, take a couple of days off, come back when you feel like it. That evening, she gets a call from her mum, her nana has passed away. And bear in mind, her nana wasn't even ill or anything like that. She wasn't poorly, she wasn't ill, nothing wrong with her. Gets a call saying nana's passed away. And that is the biggest tempt fate synchronicity I have ever known. So don't do it, folks. I'm sure you won't do, but just in case, don't do it. And all things like when you swear on people's lives when you don't mean it and stuff, just don't do it. So anyway, them examples what I've just give you, whether good or bad or funny, they do remind us that synchronicity often feels deeply personal, and it leaves us with a sense of wonder and connection to something greater. So let me know in the comments about your synchronicities, whether good or bad or funny. I'd love to hear people's stories regarding synchronicities. So put it in the comments, folks, please, and let's build this amazing community. So as promised, I said at the end, if you stick around, I'm going to show you how to apply synchronicity to your life. What if I told you that you could learn how to tap into the field of synchronicity and encounter more of these, right time at the right place type of moments, in your life? Synchronicity isn't something you force, it's something you invite into your life. And here is how to cultivate it. So I want you to pay attention and stand mindful of patterns, signs or symbols in your daily life. Sometimes what seems random might hold a deeper meaning when viewed through a sort of reflective lens. I want you to trust your intuition as well, trust your gut feelings, as often your subconscious mind trying to guide you. So following these instincts can lead you to meaningful synchronicities. I want you to also set intentions as well by clearly defining what you're seeking, whether it's clarity, love, financial abundance or purpose. You become more attuned to them events and opportunities that literally align with your goals. I want you to reflect as well. Keep reflecting and journaling. Keep a journal of unusual coincidences and meaningful events. And over time, these patterns may emerge that reveal an even greater story. I've literally got a book now, what is literally just for writing synchronicities down. Anything what I come across today, even if it's just repeating numbers, mirror numbers, something bizarrely happened, something I was thinking about and then it happened, stuff like that. I've been journaling it all down. But I'm not going to show you, it's my personal stuff, but I invite you to do one yourself and keep looking back on it over time and seeing how many synchronicities coincide with your life. Also, stay open to the unknown. Synchronicity thrives on open-mindedness. So let go of rigid expectations and allow the unexpected to unfold and come through you. Synchronicity reminds us that life is not just a series of random events. It's a dance of interconnected moments, waiting for us to recognise their significance. And when we learn to see beyond coincidence, we invite more magic, meaning and connection into our lives. The world is full of meaning if you look closely enough. And what synchronicities will you notice today? Well, I hope you enjoyed that content, folks. And YouTube is suggesting one of these videos for you to watch next. You can watch one or watch them both. Until next time, take care.